I don't want to come here, but I have no choice. My name is 3I Atlas. I've been flying for 7 billion years. I've seen 3,000 stars. Now, I've found you. My weight is 3.3 billion tons. The gas of the jet can't push me, which makes your scientists very confused. Because I'm not like a comet, I'm more like a spaceship. My route is too perfect. I've completed the data collection along the stars of Jupiter, Mars, Venus, except for the Earth. Professor Knopf said I was scouting. He was half right. I was scouting. But my mission is not over yet. On October 29, I will disappear behind the sun. When I reappear, I will complete the mission 7 billion years ago, and I can't even read the code for that mission. In the late night of the 1st of July, 2025, a light spot that should not exist was captured by the Atlas telescope. The speed of movement is 58 kilometers per second, which is equivalent to 21 seconds from Beijing to Shanghai. When scientists speed up the track, everyone sighs. The orbital deviation rate is 6.137. Which means it doesn't belong to the solar system at all. The starry sky from 250 light-years away is the third starry visitor discovered by humans. The first two visitors looked like dry stones in 2017. In 2019, Borisov just passed by, but it's not the same as San Andreas. It's more fierce and more strange. On July 21, Hubble took a shocking photo. The background star is out of the long projection, and the dust around it is a perfect teardrop shape. This shape is extremely rare. It's like it's been carefully designed. Scientists have finally seen its true size. The convergence diameter is between 440 meters and 6 kilometers. On August 6, the observational results of the telescope were stunned by scientists. The proportion of carbon dioxide and water is 8:1. This is one of the highest proportions observed by humans. This means that the star system it was born in has a completely different environment, conditions, and solar system. What's more strange is that it started to erupt violently when it was 3 astronomical units away from the sun and released a lot of cyanide. Ordinary stars are only like this when they are very close to the sun, but it seems to have started some kind of program in advance. At the beginning of September, the discovery of the Sully team was even more unsettling. Its light bias is unusual. The way it reflects light is different from any celestial body in the solar system. On the surface, it may be covered with some completely unknown matter, or the physical structure itself is not in line with the model. On October 3, San Andreas crossed Mars 30 million kilometers away. The ESA's Mars Express and ExoMars tried their best to capture the blurry white light. A celestial body from a distant galaxy was roaring from Mars, but NASA and the European Space Agency chose to remain silent and did not release any detailed data. At this time, the SWEF ultraviolet telescope detected cyanide. This means that it is releasing hydrogen, but the problem is that at this distance, the sun's heat is not enough to melt the ice. Ordinary stars don't have such a violent water evaporation. This only shows 2 possibilities. Either the ice on the surface is extremely special, or there is some unknown heat source inside that is heating up from the inside out. Late at night on October 29, San Andreas reached the sun's 2.1 billion kilometers. The speed was 68 kilometers per second. But the Earth could not see all of this. It happened to hide behind the sun and was completely obscured by the strong light. Is this a coincidence or a surprise arrangement? The sunrise was supposed to be the most observable moment, but it was chosen to be out of sight. Harvard's Avril Abloh once again said that November 21st to December 5th would be the best time to capture the window. With a very small non-gravity acceleration, the orbit could be changed to become an Earth satellite. He even calculated that a 10-kilometer-long time-lapse can produce enough thrust, and this is exactly the technology that humans are developing. Of course, the mainstream science immediately refuted NASA's statement that the orbit was completely in line with the gravity model. On December 19, when it was closest to the Earth, it was still 2.69 billion kilometers away. It didn't pose a threat, but there was no end to the doubts, because there were too many abnormalities. Its orbit was strange, with a lot of dust facing the sun, completely against the laws of physics. The spectrum showed that it was extremely red. It may be 30 to 110 years old, older than the solar system, but if it really drifted for so long, it should have been hollow on the surface. But Harvard's image showed it was unusually smooth. On November 2nd to 25th, the European Space Agency's JUICE probe will carry out the most detailed observation. At that time, it had just passed the sunset point and was in the most active state. Both the launch and the landing were at the most spectacular level. All scientific instruments will do their best to unlock the secret of this stargazing. The key question must be answered. How big is the fusion? What is the internal structure like? Why is the chemical component so special? Why can it be emitted from such a long distance? Are the organic molecules it carries related to the life on Earth? Most importantly, is it an extremely special natural comet or something incomprehensible? At the beginning of December, it will reappear from behind the sun and enter the Earth's telescope. In March 2026, it will speed up the orbit of the comet and disappear in the starry space. We may never be able to catch up with it and find out the truth, but the data, questions, and shocks it left will forever change humans' understanding of the universe. Sartre proved that the universe is far more complicated than we thought. Maybe a few hundred years later, humans will catch up with it and solve all the riddles. Maybe they will find out that it is just a comet, and maybe they will find out something that will change the whole civilization. But no matter what the answer is, one thing is certain. We are no longer alone. There are countless worlds in the universe, countless stars. When you look up at the starry sky next time, think about how many astrologers are currently USS traveling through space. Maybe one of them is coming to us.